Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Wanted to make a quick video on our Mercedes Benz. It was a 2011 Mercedes Benz GL350, the OM642 diesel motor, 3 liter. It's bit the dust. Long story short, I tried the liquid moly Proline engine flush. It worked so well, it must have dislodged a bit of sludge in the main bearing, and it ended up throwing a rod. So I'll give you a quick little history on our SUV. We bought it about 9 or 10 months ago, used from a dealership in Milton, Ontario. I'm not going to bother bashing the dealership. From what I could tell, after tons and tons of hours put into this thing, it looks like the thing was passing oil. Oil ring was seized. It ended up clogging the DPF, which he deleted. Sold it to me deleted, which I was fine with because I don't mind a deleted truck. But you know, I right away I said to him, I said, man, this thing's smoking a lot. He said, oh, it's got the tune on it. That's just how they do. It's fuel. So I let it ride. I ended up changing several parts on it, trying to chase oil consumption. Originally, I thought it was just an oil leak because I had turbo inlet was leaking quite a bit. I thought maybe it was the oil filter, the oil cooler. They're very notorious for leaking. I ended up getting the leaks under control. Serpentine belt housing, or the oil filter housing, was whipping oil all over the serpentine belt. Got that changed. I have a video on that. Then we got into more bigger stuff. So I changed the PCV valve. That didn't work. And then finally I changed the turbocharger. The turbocharger is known to suck oil, the seals that go in there, and they end up just basically blowing oil right through the system, burning it, and then all that. So I changed the turbocharger, put a brand new turbo in it, same issue, very low performance. It seemed to be getting worse and worse. I had changed the oil at that point like 3 times, so I was starting to really flush the motor out. And then finally I said, I'm just going to go ahead and try this liquid moly Proline engine flush. So it worked pretty damn good. So the procedure I used for the flush, I did like a double flush, or what I would call like a proper flush. I got the engine up to temperature, went around the block, I let it cool down a little bit, added the 2 liters of Proline, liquid moly Proline engine flush, let that idle for 10 minutes, drained it. I added 530 conventional oil, just some cheap Napa stuff. I went around the block, I got that new oil really circulated through the motor. I kept it about 1 liter low. I let that cool down to operating temperature. I added 2 more liters of liquid moly Proline engine flush again. So 4 bottles total. I let that idle for another 10 minutes. I drained it all, and like it was crazy what came flying out of that motor. So I thought in my head, hopefully my game plan was to try to free up the rings, right? Try to break all that carbon or unstick the rings. These pistons have 3 ring system on them, and the oil filter or the oil ring has a tendency to stick. So that was my plan anyway. So I flushed it out. I put my Rotella T6 540 back in, let that run. About 1,000 kilometers into the oil change, the motor started knocking. So, you know, it started knocking. It came and went. Like if you stepped on it a little bit, the knocking would go away. And then eventually around 3,000 kilometers into that oil change, the knocking went away completely. And I thought I kind of nabbed it in the butt. And then my wife took the truck up north on an uphill grade. It started knocking violently. She said she heard a loud thud and something flew off the back of the truck. So we're not sure exactly at the time. I haven't seen the truck since. I ended up selling it on Kijiji for parts, but the buyer told me that, yeah, it threw a rod right through the oil pan. So 10 liters oil on the ground. We got it towed. It was a complete nightmare. So it looked to me like it was oil rings all along. It totally, you know, we bought a lemon. There's just no way around it, unfortunately. So liquid moly definitely worked. It flushed the hell out of that engine. But it looks like that motor was neglected from day one, sludged up, and there wasn't much we could do about it. So advice, if your Mercedes Benz's OM642 is passing a ton of oil, there's not much you can do. It's, you know, you got to pull the motor to change the rings. It's the same price just to swap the motor with something used. It's not a super common issue, but it is out there. The guy I sold the truck to, he kind of specializes in swapping the motors, and he said, yeah, this is it's not a known issue, but it is an issue. So I would recommend, if you buy these used Mercedes-Benz, make sure you got the history on them, make sure the oils were changed, make sure it was taken care of, because you get one of these old sludged up motors like I did, it's just a money pit. You know, thankfully I got an aftermarket turbo. I did all the work myself in terms of the small repairs, so you know, I was only into it maybe another $4,000, probably $4 or $5 grand, and it ended up just huge waste of money. So we're on to a Audi Q7 now, 3-liter diesel, privately sold to me. 2 owners before me. I have all the history on it. It's running great. I plan on putting some videos out on that truck now. So to all the guys with the Mercedes, sorry, but it is what it is. Leave a comment below if you've been having oil consumption issues and you need to bounce some ideas back and forth. Not saying I'm the be-all end-all of the Mercedes, but I've really got into that motor and chased it right to the bitter end. So leave a comment and a question below if you need to. Other than that, hopefully this little video helps you guys with oil consumption on the Mercedes Benz. And that's my story on the Mercedes. Rest in peace, baby. Take care, guys.